What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're looking at once again my best loot drops that I've gotten recently, so the rolls and weapons and what's good or not. With the Dawning, I picked up an absolute ton of Vanguard packages and also a bunch of LDR snipers, which you'll see in the video. On top of that, also got a bunch of other cool weapons from Crucible packages, the Crucible weekly bounties and factions, and I'll also be going over my 3 Sunrise bounties in the hunt for the Icebreaker, of course, and how that's getting on. So as always, a ton of really cool weapons and especially a lot of really cool snipers. So firstly, beginning with those Icebreaker bounties, the Sunrise ones of course. So the first one dropped me a Badger CCL Scout Rifle with Hot Swap and the Legendary Guerrilla Fighter, and also nothing good in the middle. So pretty bad weapon overall, definitely getting dismantled. Very disappointing. The next one dropped me a Shadow Price with Persistence and Hidden Hand, and also Perfect Balance. So not a bad weapon, but still not an Icebreaker. And the third one dropped me a Disassembly Required Rocket Launcher, which is just pretty bad at stands, so nothing too great there. At least these things are all 400 light, so it can be good infusion fuel, but no Icebreaker for me this week. Let me know in the comment section if any of you guys got it, because it seems to be very rare at this point. I think it's 1%, but there you go, no Icebreaker for me. Hopefully get it next week. So getting into those Vanguard packages, got a ton of really cool stuff and 3 LDR snipers in total. The first one dropped with Life Support, Skip Rounds, Injection Mold, Reinforced Barrel and Hot Swap. But in terms of scopes, we've got the Ambush and also Short Gaze 10, so very good in terms of scopes, but the perks are awful, so probably going to get dismantled. The second one is kind of the opposite. We've got really good perks, but no good scopes. We've got Grenadier, Perfect Balance, Snapshot, Oiled Frame, and Outlaw. But like I said, it's got no short range scopes, so they're all pretty much unusable in my opinion. And the third one is definitely the best of the 3. This one came with Last Resort, Quick Draw, Rifle Barrel, Oiled Frame, and Outlaw, and also a Short Gaze 10. So this is really good, and I'll definitely keep this one around because now I've got one with Snapshot and also Quick Draw, and both of them have got Outlaw, which I definitely really like. So there you go, a lot of really good LDRs to pick between that I've now got. Now into the other Vanguard packages, we've got a Devil You Know hand cannon. This one came with Outlaw and Army of 1. Not that great. I guess it could be a PvE role, but nothing too special about this one in particular. And then my next Vanguard package dropped me a Swarm machine gun, which is the one I always used to use back in the Vault of Glass. Got fond memories of this thing, but this one's got a lot of good stability perks, so it might be my best one yet. I do wish the element was Void, so it was the same as my old Swarm. Could always do with more Void weapons, to be honest, but still pretty happy with this one. Definitely a lot of stability, so probably going to keep this one around. So moving on to my Crucible weekly bounties, this first one I opened up in the beginning of the Dawning, dropped me the Ophidian Aspect Warlock Gauntlets. I've already got a pretty good roll on these that my Warlock currently has, so I'll probably infuse these ones. If you've been living under a rock, these are basically the best Warlock Gauntlets in the Crucible. They are very, very good. These ones in particular don't really have much purpose to me. So the next one dropped me a Cryptic Dragon Scout Rifle. I seem to get this a lot, but this one is pretty decent. We've got Crowd Control and Outlaw, and also Hand A Stock for stability. So pretty nice PvE roll, and the scope is easily my favorite on a Scout Rifle. So really, really good weapon overall for PvE, I guess. And the next one dropped me a Jade Rabbit Exotic. Really underrated Crucible weapon, definitely the best long-range weapon in the game for sure. But there you go, pretty nice exotic. So decent overall from those Crucible weekly bounties. So moving on to the Crucible packages. The first one dropped me a Longbow Sniper with Life Support, Perfect Balance, Injection Mold, Casket Mag, and Unflinching. Unfortunately, it's got no good scope, so pretty much straight getting dismantled. Don't really have much purpose for this one. The next one dropped me a Party Favor Pulse Rifle, which apparently is a really good pulse, but unfortunately the mag size is pretty low, so it definitely lacks out right there. This one's got a decent roll. It's got either Storm or Take a Knee, Hand A Stock for a ton of stability, Lightweight, and also Head Seeker, so not too bad, but the mag size is definitely low, so you probably need something like Extended Mags on this one. Now the next package dropped me a rocket launcher called Something Wicked. Actually, I only just noticed this thing's got basically max blast radius, so it's actually pretty decent. The velocity isn't too great on this one, but I do have Javelin to make it a little bit better. But overall, a pretty good rocket launcher. I had no idea this one's actually that good. The next one dropped me a Hero Formula Scout Rifle. We've got Rodeo, Mulligan, Handlaid Stock, Hammerforged, and a Firefly. Pretty close to my Fatebringer roll that I got before, but this one's got Rodeo for more stability instead of Outlaw. And the final one dropped me a Zombie Apocalypse machine gun, which I seem to get all the time, but never a good roll. And this one is pretty much the same. We've got Surrounded and Feeding Frenzy. Nothing really too great, so I'm still looking for a decent Zombie Apocalypse. I'm not sure if I'd actually use it, because I guess the Iron Banner machine gun is technically a lot better, but I do still want a decent Zombie Apocalypse. This one is classic Year 1 weapons, but there you go, those are my Crucible packages. And now moving on to the faction packages, we've got Dead Orbit first, dropping me the Auto Rifle. This actually came with a really amazing roll, and I feel like keeping it just in case this kind of Auto Rifle ever gets a buff in the future. It's got a lot of stability and also extended mags, so pretty decent. This thing could be really good if it got a buff. The next one is a Future Walkout package, which dropped me the rocket launcher. Pretty much had amazing perks and a really good blast race, but I noticed the velocity is very low, so nothing too great there. And the final one is the new Monarchy package, which dropped me a hand cannon with high caliber rounds, a quick draw, perfect balance, hot swap, and reactive reload. Doesn't really have much going for it, unfortunately. It's got the fastest rate of fire archetype, which isn't too great on hand cannons, and the range is really, really low, so probably getting dismantled. So there you go, that is a roundup of all the best loot drops and some of the cool weapons I picked up recently with the Dawning. I do have a bunch of skeleton keys to use. I've got like nearly 10 with the buff of the skeleton key drop rate, so I'll probably use those on the Undying Mind at some point. I need to find the time to go through and do the strike 10 times in a row, but hopefully I'll get a good Amargo loop and maybe do a video if I get any good ones. Of course, comment down below any cool stuff you've gotten recently, if any you got the Icebreaker or any other cool god roll weapons. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.